So this is the kind of stuff that I like to see personally, where people who own a storefront on PC are actually able to recognize, hey, like, Windows, while it's like, the most widely used, is generally not the best for gaming. And so it's cool to see that the owners of GOG, the new owners, I should say, basically criticize Windows and says it's going to be supporting Linux better into the future, or going into the future. So Michael Kaczynski is basically saying exactly that. So the new owner of the PC gaming store, GOG.com, which I have talked about recently, and I feel like a lot of people really liked me talking about, criticized the Windows ecosystem and suggested that the store will support Linux owners better into the future, which is what I like to see. The fact that Linux has now become a lot more prevalent with the use of stuff like the Steam Machine, which is going to be coming out later on this year. We've also got people using portable devices, of course the Steam Deck, that's the first thing that I think of. And I feel like a lot of stuff like, your Lenovo Legion Go's, which come with Windows 11, could almost certainly be used to basically put on Linux instead and just play through games that way. So, as I mentioned earlier about talking about basically the shift of ownership, last month CD Projekt Red did sell GOG to its co-founder, Michael Kaczynski, who bought 100% of the shares, which is around 90.7 million, and this is Polish currency from what I'm aware. In an interview with PC Gamer, Kaczynski and managing director Maciej Golbowski, Maciej, were asked whether GOG had planned to focus on Linux going forward, given a growth in pro-Linux and anti-Windows sentiment among some PC gamers, and that's absolutely fair to have. I think, to be completely fair, hating on Windows has always been a thing, and for myself personally, I've been doing it for the past at least 3 to 4 years, so that's kind of like where I'm at, like where finally people are starting to catch up to where I'm seeing things regarding where Windows is at, how they're doing things, and just how it doesn't really work, even though market-wise, that's like just, it's so prevalent that it's crazy to think about. And so basically what Maciej said was, yes, we are. Stating that Linux was one of the things that we're going to be putting into our strategy for this year to have a closer look at. I don't want to comment on specifics, but certainly you will see this trend, and we also see that Linux is close to the hearts of our users, so we probably could do better in that front, and that's something that we'll be looking at, he added. Kaczynski then addressed the current state of Windows, saying he was really surprised that it continues to hold such a large market share despite its issues. It's such poor quality software and product that I'm surprised that it's spent so many years on the market, he said. I can't believe it. Kaczynski added that while he mostly uses a Mac now, I sometimes have to fix my mom's computer or my father's computer with Windows, and it's unbelievable. So I'm not surprised that people gravitate outside the Windows ecosystem. It's not the best ecosystem, and it really, really isn't. While GOG's main competitor Valve also sells Windows games, its SteamOS operating system used for the Steam Deck and its upcoming Steam Machine and Steam Frame, and I forgot about the Steam Frame, god damn, that was one thing I forgot about, is a Linux-based system which supports Proton, a compatibility layer that basically allows you to run Windows games on Linux, so executables are runnable under Proton. And there's also stuff like Winboat as well, among other things. Windows remains the most popular operating system by PC gamers by some distance, however. Steam's hardware and software survey for December shows that 94.2% of players use Windows, 3.5% use Linux, and 2.2% use Mac. I feel like that's surprisingly high, given that I don't think a lot of people are using Macs to game that much, but I feel like Linux is at least getting out of the lower percentages. The moment that hits double digits is a day to bloody celebrate, let me tell you, right then and there. But this also makes me wonder, moving forward, if GOG does focus more on allowing people to be able to play games on Linux a bit more easily while using, something like Proton that was created by Steam to make it all work. And of course, Steam was also working on a translation layer that allows people to basically run Windows executables on ARM processors, like for example the Steam Frame. Again, insane to think about how all of this would work together, that Steam is making all of this possible. So I really do think that Steam are doing a great job in allowing all of this to work together. And so now other people can come together and provide more open source solutions. And if GOG is kind of leaning in on that as well, then I'm very happy to see that that's also being done by them, because I feel like it's extremely unlikely that Epic would ever lean on that, given that the big moneymaker Fortnite can't really be played on Linux, given that Easy Anti-Cheat continues to exist. But anti-cheat needs to exist in multiplayer games specifically, but it's more so to protect their store than anything else. And that's where I'm kind of curious as to where your guys' thoughts are in the comments below. Let me know about your usage of Linux, if you use it at all. So I find myself being among the 3.5%, so I do kind of wonder where everyone else kind of falls. I imagine Windows, but what would make you guys shift to Linux? That's the question I want to put. But also secondly, do you think that the GOG leaning more into Linux game distribution is a beneficial thing? I personally think it is, just so we can get people more off of Windows and more onto Linux machines, so we can wane people off in that way. But I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say about this in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe to our channel. I'm aiming for 500 subs by the end of the year, and with all that being said, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.